Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is the presentation for the data show and the trial test for nerve endings. This is the picture for the muscle spindle. On the left side, we have this muscle spindle. It is encapsulated and it is transversely cut. So we cannot see the spindle form as it is a transverse section. Here we have a capsule, as we have said, and then we have the this space, which is the subcapsular space. It contains fibers, modified muscle fibers, which are called intrafusal muscle fibers because they are present in this muscle spindle, which is fusiform in shape. These intrafusal muscle fibers should be differentiated from the extrafusal. The intrafusal are present inside the capsule, the extra are present outside. These are the ordinary skeletal muscle fibers. Here, the size of the extra is larger than the size of the intrafusal muscle fibers. Of course, we have two types of intrafusal muscle fibers, the nuclear bag and the nuclear chain type, but you will not be able to differentiate between them in the section. Here we have the extrafusal and we have the nuclei present at the peripheral position. On the right side, we have here the capsule, very evident, and we have the intrafusal muscle fibers. As you see, this one, all of these are the intrafusal muscle fibers, which are clearly smaller in size than the extrafusal muscle fibers, which is a transversely cut muscle fibers. After that, we will move to the second nerve ending, which is the Pacinian corpuscle. The Pacinian corpuscle is present in many locations. It is present in the connective tissue hypodermis of the skin. It is present also in the capsule of joints, periosteum of bones, and it is present in internal organs like pancreas, urinary bladder, and the rectum. Here we have a transverse section in this Pacinian corpuscle. You can see in the center the axon terminal, the end part, which is forming a dilated bulb of the axon, present in the center. And around it we have many lamellae. They are present in surrounding this axon terminal. In the peripheral part they are closely packed. In the central part they are loosely packed. And these lamellae are made of cells, which are modified Schwann cells. So these are the lamellae of the modified Schwann cells, inner part, outer part. Also, it has a capsule, as we know from this picture, the other picture here. We have a capsule, as it is an encapsulated structure. We have this capsule and we have the lamellae, formed of modified Schwann cells. And in the center, we have the axon terminal. Sometimes it is cut obliquely, so we have this elongated part, and it is completely here transversely cut, so we can see this circular part. So this is the axon terminal. You have to revise the theoretical knowledge in the lecture of the nervous tissue in order to study the sites and the functions. Then we have the last one in the practical, which is the motor end plate, which is a proprioceptor present in the skeletal muscle fibers. Here we have the nerve formed of a lot of nerve fibers, and it will divide into separate nerve fibers, one nerve fiber for one muscle fiber. And as it reaches the muscle, it loses the myelin and forms this the motor end plate. This part, which is expanded and forming a knob, this will be the motor end plate. And you will not see anything in the light microscope as regards the details present in the presynaptic membrane because it is a light microscopic picture. Here we have another picture here with the trunk of the nerve, peripheral nerve, and it divides into different nerve fibers. For one muscle fiber, we have one nerve fiber. the one nerve fiber will end on the sarcolemma by expanded part, which is called the motor end plate. This is the motor end plate. Here, this expanded part at the end of the nerve fiber on the sarcolemma of the skeletal muscle fibers. You can see in this picture the skeletal muscle fibers with the striations very evident in them. And all of these are the motor end plate. Now we will move to the trial test. First of all, we have this picture which shows a capsulated structure containing acidophilic or eosinophilic muscle fibers, and outside them we have also larger sized eosinophilic muscle fibers. This is of course the capsule, this is the intrafusal, and these are the extrafusal. The blue circle limits what? The muscle spindle. Mention the function of the muscle spindle على طول proprioceptor. The yellow arrow points to intrafusal muscle fiber. The green arrow points to extrafusal muscle fiber. Of course, this is the nucleus of the extrafusal muscle fiber. This is the picture, of course, of the Pacinian corpuscle, which looks like the transversely cut onion. And here we have the following questions. The blue circle limits the Pacinian corpuscle. Mention one function and one site. هنا بقى عندنا lot of answers. If you want to say it is a proprioceptor, you should mention the site, either the capsule of the joint or the periosteum of bone. If you want to mention that it is a receptor for vibration and for pressure, exactly pressure, it is present in the hypodermis of the skin. Pressure also in the connective tissue of the pancreas, of the renal bladder, and the rectum. يبقى هنا قدامك lot of choices. اختار الحاجة اللي هي هتكون سهلة عليك. Proprioceptor يبقى في علاقة للجوينتس، يا capsule of joints يا periosteum of bone. Pressure اختار organ خارجي اللي هو السكين hypodermis of the skin، أو داخلي زي البنكرياس urinary bladder and rectum. The red arrow points to what؟ إيه هي red arrow أهو؟ دول النيوكلياي of the modified Schwann cells forming the different lamellae surrounding أو forming the structure of the Pacinian corpuscle. يبقى هنا وطبعا ما تنساش number of the lamellae from 20 to 60 concentric lamellae. هنا بعد كده yellow arrow points to axon terminal. آخر حتة في الأكسون طبعا which is unmyelinated present in the center of the Pacinian corpuscle. Last slide in this exam. This is of course the picture of the motor end plate، وطبعا انت واخد بالك انها مصبوغة بالسيلفر by brown coloration. It is stained by silver أو AG. The green arrow points to the skeletal muscle fibers. طبعا دول skeletal muscle fibers العاديين جدا، but here it is the picture longitudinally cut. هنا البيكتشر بتاعتي باينين قوي ان هم longitudinally cut muscle fibers. No problem, you just mention skeletal muscle fiber. After that, the yellow arrow, it is the nerve passing to the muscle, whole trunk of the nerve passing to this skeletal muscle. طبعا لو انت شاور لك على هنا هتقول ده الموتور end plate. And that's all. Thank you very much and best wishes.